They are from PFLAG, and they are Grand Marshals for the upcoming Gay Pride Parade. One of the, or two of the Grand Marshals. You have another...
we have a colleague, Karen,
yes,
who couldn't be here this morning.
Well, hi, Karen. Let's start with you, Susan. Tell us the story of your son and how you became part of PFLAG.
Well, I cry a little bit when I tell this story. It's the last time I've cried since he came out. He was in his last year of high school, near the end, May or early June, and I dropped him at his high school, and there was another boy in the car, a neighbor, and he had a big project that was in the back of my car. And I stopped in front of the school and went to the back of the car to help the other boy get his big project out of the car. And I went back to my car and I realized my son had, in the meantime, disappeared into the school. And there was a letter in my car. And it said, "Dear Mom, I can't seem to tell you this in person, so I'm telling you this way. I'm gay, and I want you to talk with Dad today and see if you guys need to kick me out. I understand, and it's been a good 17 years.
Oh, Mommy.
So, and I looked around. See, I'm
yeah.
I always cry. Aideen's heard me cry of telling this story before.
It makes me feel weepy, too.
And I couldn't stand the thought that he would go all day wondering what we would do. And I considered following him into the school, but Kits High School is a very big space, and I was sure that he would have gone in and hidden himself somewhere where I wouldn't find him. So I had to carry on to my work and called my husband, and then we had to wait till that evening to talk to him.
What was your husband's reaction like?
My husband was, I don't understand it, but I'll go with it.
I love my son. And going to PFLAG got you there, and that's a support group for parents who are...
Well, that's right. I wanted to talk to other parents in the same position. And I looked around. A gay friend gave me some books which mentioned a group for parents, but they were kind of outdated, and that group didn't exist. And I tried and tried, and I finally saw a little article about a mother and son, and they belonged to PFLAG. And so I went to the Pride Parade that year, 10 years ago. And I watched the parade, and then I went to the PFLAG booth, and there were two young men there, and I said, "Oh, my son just told me he's gay." And they said, "Congratulations."
There you go.
That was Aideen's son.
Isn't that lovely? Okay, Aideen, let's talk about this. This is 10 years ago, PFLAG. How has it changed in the last 10 years? You've been a part of it.
I haven't been with PFLAG as long as Susan has. I joined on paper, but I was living in the Valley. I was very preoccupied with I had a very ill husband he was mentally ill. And so I didn't get the opportunity to be active with PFLAG until 7 years ago when I came back to Vancouver. And
how has it changed in the last 10 years or so? Like, your son has been a part of it, clearly, if he was there for Susan to welcome her to the family, as it were.
Yeah. Well, he came out when he was 26, and which was a shock to me.
Yes.
But not a negative shock.
Right. Can I ask you, looking back to that day when your son came out at 26, which seems late, and in some senses it's not, but if you could go back, what's the piece of advice that you might give to a mother or father watching right now whose son or daughter is going to pick Pride Week as their week to finally tell their parents that they are gay?
Keep in mind, and I have said this to people, keep in mind that remind yourself that this is the baby you held in your arms. And now I'm going to get weepy. It's what I had to say to my husband, because he was negative, and I showed him a picture of our little boy, who was, of course, adorable when he was 4 months old. He still is. And I said, "That's your little boy, and that's the person that you are now treating very badly." And he said, I don't have to be reminded that's when, and I said, you have to be reminded that you love him. And that's what it's all about. You love the person that he is. And there's a woman said something who, she came to a meeting of ours, we have monthly meetings, and she had been upset because her son or daughter has come out as trans, actually. And she said, I was very upset about it, but then I started thinking, nobody wrote my script for me. I grew up being me. My parents didn't and couldn't write my life story. I shouldn't be trying to write my child's script.
That is a goosebump moment thing to say.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to write your story.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being here and sharing that glimpse into your lives. And for anybody out there, PFLAG can be found, pflagvancouver.com. It is a not-for-profit organization and can use your donations if you feel.
And volunteers.
And volunteers as well.
Thanks
you
so much.
Susan.
Thank you.
Nadine.